neighbors to come up with a financial solution on how you're going to pay for your health care that you need. And some people, we do have folks that are out there that are in need of assistance, and that's where the government needs to step forward and give them that. But we need to do that. I'm running over my time. We need to step forward. My opponent, Ben Lujan, talks about families and communities. Those are his favorite two words. You'll hear that on the campaign trail repeatedly. And you wonder what he said, and he said families and communities about 15 times. So part of the solution is that families and communities need to get together and help provide some health care for those in need. And that's the solution.
I would submit that the person asking the question has insurance. It's called Medicare. And they paid into it for years and years and years, knowing it was going to be there when they got to their senior years. And because of the obstruction in Congress, we have seen a 21% cut in Medicare actually take effect. And we finally were able to appeal enough Republicans to fix that. 21% cut in Medicare, 21% cut in TRICARE for our nation's veterans, for people who are retired from our nation's military. I'm not going to balance the budget on the back of Medicare. We need to cut the budget. We need to cut lots of places in the budget. Discretionary, defense is not off the table. But when somebody pays in for their whole life into the Medicare system, and you tell them when they're 65 or 70 that now we're going to cut them, let's let my generation shoulder some of that burden, not the people who are retired.
Except that under the health care bill, $500 billion was taken out of Medicare. That being said, one of the things that I assume there's two problems here with the person from Farmington. One is access to health care coverage and perhaps access to doctors. I've heard from many doctors who are advising me with respect to this health care reform bill that's passed. Yes, we do need to protect Medicare and those who have paid into Medicare to make sure that there is accessible and affordable coverage. This health care bill, however, in a more general sense, is going to make accessibility issues even more pronounced. I've heard from many doctors, especially specialists, who have gone in and told me that, say, this is going to be tough on us. And we are threatened in terms of how we are going to continue doing our practice. One of the things we need to do is, again, look at the more, get away from the government, again, commanding to the medical profession how we go about providing medical care coverage, and I think they overdid it in this health care bill.
Next question from the audience is, where do you stand on federal incentives for renewable energy and related jobs? And we'll start with Mr. Gross.
Yeah, I'm a guy who believes in all the above when it comes to energy, and that includes renewables. I get it. Renewable energy is an important part of the future of this country. But we also have to recognize that all the above is as well if we're going to provide for an expanded energy future for this country sooner than later. Just by way of understanding where I come from on this issue, I put my money where my mouth is. We've invested in the Build Green project. It's something that we believe in. It's something, I get it. We did look at other forms of alternative energy to use in that project, but honest to goodness, right now it's just not economically viable, at least for the project that we tried. But we are building to a Build Green standard. So look, I get it. Again, I'm one of those guys that's put his money where his mouth is when it comes to that sort of thing. And I would certainly, in some circumstances or any circumstances, would continue to support that.
Just the other day, I went to the Bell Group, where they installed 1.1 megawatts of energy, solar energy, clean energy, in their carports. It covers 5 acres right here in Albuquerque. With electrical contractors to work. Put a huge number of people of affordable solar to work. They put people to work at Shot Solar right here in Albuquerque, who manufactured those panels. The week before, I was at Sumco, They used to just manufacture silicon for Intel. Now they also manufacture that silicon for the renewable energy industry. Even in the midst of this recession, this is a part of our economy we've seen grow right here in central New Mexico. We need to support it. The tax credits that are there are important. The manufacturing tax credit should be there as well. It shouldn't just apply to the solar panel, but also the machines that make the solar panels, that make the silicon, and the other parts that goes into them. This is a part of our economy that is growing. We need to support it.
I think everyone loves tax credits, right? That means you pay less in taxes. And to talk a little bit for a minute about clean energy. Windmills and solar panels are not necessarily clean. I hate to educate everybody on this, but everything has an impact upon the environment. So yes, I'm like John for the do-it-all strategy. But when we're talking about tax credits, both Martin and my opponent, when you look at the president's budget proposal, we're talking about removing the tax credits for the oil and gas and fossil fuels industries that had been in place since the tax code was put in place in 1913. So we have to have some balance when we talk about the jobs. We cannot be one-sided and looking for the clean and green jobs when we still need some of those oil and gas and mining jobs that are in place. So we got to have the balance. So yes, I'm for tax credits.
Hey, we have time for a couple more questions. Okay. Congress has enacted and repeatedly postponed implementation of a 21% cut in physician reimbursement under Medicare. Do you support implementing, repealing, or some other solution with respect to this cut? And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go with Mullins first, and then Heinrich and Terrell. Try to mix it up.
Wow. Well, when I get to Congress in January, I guess I'll have to figure out how to try to keep all the doctors solvent in the United States of America by allowing them to receive their 21% charge that has been mandated to be cut. You know, we're living in an illusionary world in Washington, D.C., and we've got to come back to the reality. We elect congressmen to go to Washington and then tell us that we're going to reduce the deficit and balance the budget when they know that the next step is that the 21% increase in cost is going to occur. I don't have the solution to that. I know that if we do not, in this country, award that increase, that all the doctors are going to no longer take Medicare. So we've got to do it. But we cannot pass legislation that we talk about being comprehensive in nature without actually having a solution. The solution is the free market, being able to purchase insurance across state lines, talking about reducing the litigation costs that we have in our medical profession.